Hello, today's the 19th, so I'm doing the 19th reading, and the reading today is about the Good Shepherd. We read about the Good Shepherd in John chapter 10. Specifically in verse 11, Jesus says, "I am the Good Shepherd. The Good Shepherd lays down his life for his sheep." Also in verse 14, he says, "I am the Good Shepherd. I know my sheep, and my sheep know me." Jesus calls himself the Good Shepherd. Shepherding is one of the world's oldest occupations. A shepherd is a person who tends and herds and feeds and guards the sheep. To serve as a shepherd means you demonstrate an occupation that is committed to the well-being of the sheep. Historically, sheep were vulnerable. The shepherd would stay with the sheep overnight, all night and all day at times, to protect them and care for them. So what is the Bible telling us about the shepherd? First of all, he's telling us that he was good, that he knew his flock and they knew him. And I think it's emphasising good to actually contrast against bad. As a bad shepherd or a bad person that wouldn't really look after his sheep, that wouldn't really take care of them, that perhaps is paid to be a hired hand as opposed to pay that belonging to the sheep and the sheep belonging to them. So he was a good shepherd. Secondly, it's about protection. The sheep are vulnerable. They're exposed to risk, to predators, and so it's about protecting sheep as well. About guiding them. A shepherd gathers the flock, guides them and leads them, takes them to new pastures, takes them to different feeding areas, brings them in through winter, gathers them up at lambing time. So it's about guiding the sheep. Also about feeding, the provision of food and water, the nurture of the sheep, the protection of them, the shelter that they need. And then also it's about laying down of his life, that sheep are vulnerable and the shepherd puts them first before himself. So there's lots of different meanings behind the Bible verses today. Jesus wants to know us and he wants us to know him. He will protect us, he will guide us, he will provide for our needs, and he will lay down his life. So I was thinking about the Good Shepherd, and I was thinking about what it means to me. And what I kept thinking about was going up to the Lake District. I love going to the Lake District. I find it really relaxing and calming, just seeing the countryside and the rolling hills. But I also love to see is the little sheep dotted all over. There's little fluffy bits of white all over the place, and if you go up in spring there's baby lambs, and it's so lovely to see the sheep because they're such a part of the Lake District countryside. But it seems that they're just here and they're just there and they're just everywhere, but we know that's not the case, because every sheep belongs to a flock or a herd, and many times you will see the shepherd's mark on the sheep, and that herd belongs to a shepherd, and that shepherd belongs to a farm. So although it seems like the sheep are here and there and everywhere and they're perhaps just roaming free, there are boundaries in that, there are protection in that. There's fences and gates, there's fields and walls, and there's also that sense of belonging that they might, to us they might seem like they're just everywhere and they don't belong to anybody, but that's not true. They belong to the shepherd. And so for me, looking at the Good Shepherd, it's a story, it's a symbol of belonging, of protection, of provision, and also of Jesus's ultimate laying down of his life, that he was willing to give his life up for us. And so when I think about Jesus being a good shepherd, that's what I think about. And going to the Lake District and seeing the sheep reminds me that I belong, that we all belong, that we're in this together, we're part of something bigger than ourselves, and we have got the ultimate person looking after us, and that's Jesus, who loves us so much that he was willing to lay down his life for us. And as we are getting ready for Christmas and to celebrate the start of his life and his birth, we can also remember the ultimate sacrifice that he did make for us, and that no matter what, he is always there for us, willing to protect us and provide for us and give us that place of belonging. I hope you have a lovely and peaceful Christmas. I look forward to when times are a little bit better and we can see each other again. And that's it from me. Thank you. Bye-bye.